All right. Okay, we're doing some testing. Either way, I'm back. But before we start, I need to do some testing real quick. Okay, we're doing some testing. Either way, I'm back. But before we start, I need to do some testing real quick. Oh, what am I doing? Uh, yeah, audio's not working. Okay, let's work on the audio. Audio's not working. Okay, let's work on the audio.
Do you think they found out your team updated the genophage?
Unclear. No way to determine until we get to Tuchanka.
Do you think they found out your team
Okay.
updated the genophage? We'll go to Tuchanka and see if we can find your team member.
Appreciate it. My assistant, my student, want to see him safe.
Okay,
Last seen
I
outside
fixed
Erdnot
it.
territory.
Jeez.
Scouts might have seen Bloodpack. Talk to them
Okay.
or clan chief.
All right. Okay, I fixed it. I fixed it. Oh, gee, I fixed the problem. Okay. Problem is now fixed. All right, hold on. Let me make sure. Yep, problem is now fixed. Let's see what we got. All right. That means output. What else is there? Alright, that means monitor output. Then I'm missing one. Oh, there it is. Monitor output. Okay, I got it working. Jeez. I got it working. And we're back. If y'all didn't see earlier, I guess I'll show you real quick. Boom. We're back with to finish up this Gundam live build. As you see, we got the arms, the legs, the torso, everything all done. All we got left is the backpack and the head. We're gonna work on that. I'm gonna do that till I'm done, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here. But yeah, I just had to fix the reaction stuff because I was like, why is there not any audio? And I figured out what happened, which sucks. And now the worst part is I came in. All right, hold on. Okay, so okay, I just can't monitor my voice anymore. That's fine, but I can monitor everything. Look at that works out. I'm looking for something I could watch, I could react to. Oh, I haven't heard this guy in forever. I used to like this stuff. I mean, I still do. That's too no. Wait a minute. Alright, we'll check this
Old
out.
Spice Fiji Body Wash and Deodorant with 24/7 shower clean, 24/7 long-lasting freshness.
Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Dog. I'm Hujiwana and today we're asking the question, why are sci-fi aircraft so weird? And possibly even answering it as well.
Make sure you subscribe too.
First though, we're going to demonstrate what I mean by weird with some examples. To start with, we have the advanced fighters from Stealth, the FA-37 Talon and the even more high-tech Extreme Deep Invader. The first of those is a perfect example because it has all the wacky fictional plane stuff. It's got funky aerospike engines fed by air intakes on the top of the fuselage, forward-swept wings that also fold forward for hypersonic flight, and even lift jets for low-velocity flight, which it naturally doesn't use for carrier landings or takeoffs. As we can see, it has so many features it ends up working at odds with reality.
Oh, that's from that what's called it? It's not from that one Jamie Foxx movie, but I don't want to know. I want to know about starships. Okay, I found a channel I ain't never seen before, Space Dog. We're gonna check this channel out. I'm very interested in on this.
Today's video has been sponsored by our partners at The Sojourn, because the complete Season 1 is now available with a subscription to Nebula, which has a special...
Oh no, I went to watch that. No, boo. Okay, I messed up. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, I'm interested. Alright, we'll watch this.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Dog. I'm Hujiwana and today we're going to look at ship classification systems, both in sci-fi and real life, to see if they make any sense. To start with, we should have a look at the most common vessel types you might expect to see in any given space fleet, starting at corvettes. These are the smallest warships that don't drop down into being fighters or bombers or such, if a setting has those. They're typically used for patrols, escort or specialist duties, and corvettes in sci-fi are fairly consistent and line up with real-life ones. Frigates are the next step up and tend to have similar roles, but as they are larger, they carry better weapons, defenses, and other systems. However, things start to get wobbly here, both in sci-fi and real life. Destroyers are where things really go off the rails. They do tend to be larger than frigates and more heavily armed, and capable of doing all sorts of roles. But they can be as big as cruisers, or occasionally very specialized, or sometimes an entirely different type of craft. Cruisers bring things back in line. They are medium to large vessels which can operate off by themselves or as part of a fleet, and are generally the default sort of vessel. Stepping up again, we get to battleships. Large, heavily armed and heavily armoured weapons of war. This is where the big guns are and what entire fleets can be built around. The other big vessels are carriers, which are fairly self-explanatory right up until a setting decides to muddy the waters and slap a massive armament on them for some reason. Going even further up the scale and things go off the rails again, because sci-fi has for some reason ended up with dreadnoughts being these super giga battleship type vessels, often completely dwarfing other ships with their sheer scale. And this is completely mad because the ship they're named after was a type of battleship. A revolutionary one, yes, but still a battleship. Complicating things even further are extra clarifying words like light or heavy, though generally these only add extra steps between the different sizes, so a heavy cruiser would be somewhere between a cruiser and a battleship. But then you add in yet.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. I'm happy I found this channel. So we can actually learn a little bit about. Ooh, did not want to deal with that. I'm glad I found this channel. Never seen it before, but I'm 110% interested.
More words like super or fast and So the basic classes seem relatively easy to understand, but they have a lot of crossover in roles, which is made all the more obvious when we plot them all on a graph. This one was made by Winchell Chung over on Atomic Rockets, and is based on a World War II centric definition of spacecraft classes, laying things out depending on their weapons, armour and mobility. Right in the middle are the balanced cruisers, with everything else spread neatly around. But this also demonstrates another of the problems with ship classes. Not only is there overlap between various types, but also a whole lot of subjective positioning. It's also a very purist look at things, coming in from the angle of trying to fit ships into pre-made categories, in a similar manner to the Royal Navy's rating system from the Age of Sail. However, even systems like that were far from perfect. For example, most fourth-rate ships of the line weren't built for that classification, but were instead bigger ships that got cut down or merchantmen that got upgunned. They ended up being fourth-rates out of coincidence more than deliberate action. A famous
Okay, interesting. And so I am going to pause and go back and forth all the time. But we're going to keep going.
example of the failings of the rating system was the HMS Indefatigable, which used to be a 64-gun third rate before it was cut down to a 44-gun frigate, putting it right on the upper limit of being a fifth rate. At a distance it looked like a frigate and had the speed of one, but essentially had the armament of a ship of the line. So the rating system said it was one thing, but it acted more as a hybrid of multiple ratings, capable of punching far above its weight. By the way, these details were provided by Dan, the former presenter of this channel, and if you want more Age of Sail vibes, check out the Sojourn audio drama, which applies a lot of 18th century nautical tropes to a sci-fi setting, links in the description. A similar preset system of ship classifications was used in the interwar period, where multiple treaties defined ship types by displacement and armament, while limiting how many could be built. But these treaties didn't apply to everyone who was building ships, and only lasted a few years. So politics also has a tremendous influence on what ships get called what, and sometimes these can get really egregious. For example, Japan's various classes of helicopter destroyer. Due to Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution, the JMSDF is not allowed to maintain any offensive military capability, limiting them to destroyers at best. So what they did is make these ships, which are called...
Oh, I thought these were... Okay, so these are actual ships. Okay, these are actually carrier ships. I thought these were... That is a space. Well, we'll see. Let's keep going.
Destroyers, while clearly being able to carry all sorts of aircraft, including F-35Bs. The Soviets also pulled similar shenanigans in the 70s with their Kiev-class carriers. These were designated as cruisers so they could pass through the Turkish Straits, which excluded carriers by the 1936 Montreux Convention. The same also applies to the smoke-belching cosmic horror that is the Kuznetsov class, which is especially amusing as China bought one and they deem it a carrier. Ship classifications changing between navies isn't a new phenomenon either. Back in the 17th century in the Age of Sail, the French Navy had come up with corvettes, but when the Royal Navy captured them, well, they didn't have corvettes in their system, so the ships were just considered sloops instead. Another modern example is the Horizon class, a joint project between the French and Italian navies. These are actually counted as a destroyer by the Italians and under NATO classification, but the French consider them to be frigates. Speaking of the NATO system, this by itself has has also led to some political silliness. In the 1970s, there was this little thing called the Cold War. You may have heard of it. The Soviet fleet was expanding at the time, particularly in regards to how many cruisers they were building. This scared...
So, okay, so what is it? Does this... Huh. So is this kind of comparing... Okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Oh, whatever. Let's see.
US politicians because, oh no, the US Navy only had 6 cruisers to the 19 that the Soviets had. The problem was, this very naive look at classifications completely ignored the size and capability of the actual ships, because the US Navy had many comparable vessels that were simply classified as frigates. So to fix this utterly terrifying cruiser gap between the two navies, the US just reclassified the ships. It doesn't even need to be specific classifications for things to be a bit screwy, as you need look no further than submarines. Unlike their surface-dwelling relatives, submarines are all referred to as boats, never as ships. This stems from ye olden times when they were only small auxiliary craft launched from ships, and it just stuck. So irregardless of their size or capability, every sub is a boat, and some can even carry their own boat. So where do all the ships that are boats, frigates that are cruisers, destroyers that are carriers, and all that leave us? Well, horribly confused? It's no surprise we get things like the Corvette-class frigate when real life is as messy as it is. And if you think about it, this is very freeing if you're making your own ships for your own settings. Real life is full of nonsense and weirdness with ship classifications, so you don't have to be super strict yourself. But real life has reasons for these issues. They're not just daft because no one wants to do it properly. A little bit more world building around why things are the way they are can go a long way, and I've given you some examples you can borrow from, like Mass Effect did with the Treaty of Phyrexian. This was almost certainly based on the Washington Naval Treaty, which also limited how many dreadnoughts various nations could have.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so it is combining real world to reality to sci-fi. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, interesting. Alright, now I'm interested. Now I'm happy.
But led to an increase in carrier development, just like in Mass Effect. Also, the Quarians in 3 weren't really bound by the treaty, so could convert their live ships to dreadnought equivalents at will. At one point, Admiral Charles Run also argues that live ships are primarily farms, so they didn't count anyway. Another thing to consider is that the most common sci-fi classifications are very late 20th century centric. Maybe the Age of Sail ratings would be more appropriate to a setting, or perhaps you name your classes by their propulsion systems, or something entirely different. But if you go down those routes, you also have to bear in mind audience expectations, as the whole reason so many settings use similar terms is so people can just instantly understand things and the story can proceed without needing to pause to lay things out. If someone calls out a frigate or a battleship, you know what they mean. So all those ship classifications we see across sci-fi do mean something, but whether they make sense is still up in the air. They probably do, as while they can be messy, the real-life inspiration behind them is also fairly messy. So what do you think about it all? Does the dreadnoughts are giant superships thing annoy you as much as it annoys me? Let me know in the comments below.
Not really. Not at all. Okay, this is a cool little channel. I'm happy I found it. See, the one I wish I had was a bad one. But yeah, I like this channel. It's a cool little channel. Oh.
What's happening? What's happening?
When your internet isn't 100% fiber, and you realize
there's a certain armor in the Mega Man X series that's usually seen as the worst one in
that armor is trash, by the way.
The series. Some even say it's worse than Base X. I'm not gonna go wasting your time though. You probably know which one it is. Hello. Today, I'm gonna be covering an armor which originates from and is only in Mega Man X5. The Gaia armor, which is probably the least liked armor in the Mega Man X series. The Gaia armor is referred to as a lot of bad things, so I'll be trying to give a different perspective on it. Let's answer the question. Is the Gaia armor really that bad?
Yes.
Before covering the armor though, we have to start with what's easily the most important question about it. How do you get it? Before I get to how to get it, I need to clarify this. If you don't already know, in Mega Man X5, you cannot use the Falcon or Gaia armor if you haven't gotten all their parts. There are 2 different ways of getting the Gaia armor, the intended method and the faster method. You can also leave a stage after getting an armor part, not defeating the boss, and you'll still get the part. I don't know why you would, but it's there. I'll be talking about that as well after I talk about the two methods.
Okay.
Starting with the intended method, you need to do all the stages on the left side. Go to Crescent Grizzly stage first. At the end of the stage, there's a section where you need to time a dash jump well. If you do it, you get the...
And I just want to let y'all know I'm currently going through and replaying. Well, I'm about to get back to it, but I do have a playlist replaying through the entire Mega Man X series, but I'm probably going to get back to it sooner than later. So I just want to get a little bit further because I'm having fun with Mass Effect. So I'm going to get a little bit more further with Mass Effect, and then I'll probably come back to it. But yes, I do actually have a Mega Man X series, well, gameplay, I shouldn't say series, but gameplay that I'm going through. And you can find that at the Unknown Game channel if you want to check that out. 110%.
Falcon Armor's leg part. Then, get Crescent Grizzly's weapon by defeating him. Then go to Tidal Will stage, defeat him to get his weapon, and revisit it. You then use his weapon, the Goo Shaver. Either variant of it works, but the uncharged version is more precise. You get the Falcon Armor's body part. Then go to Volt Kraken stage, and get all the blue spears in the beginning of it. If you do, you get the Falcon Armor's head part. Finally, go to Shining Firefly stage. Go up to the first wall you see after the big wall climbing section. It will be the wall that will have a prism generator there. Use Crescent Grizzly's weapon, the C-Shot, to destroy it, and you get the arm parts. You will then have the Falcon Armor. Now, go to the stages on the right side. You can start with any of them. The recommended one is Spiral Pegasus' stage. In the open area with the elevator, use the Falcon Armor to fly upwards. You will then get onto a ledge with a light capsule on it, and the Gaia Armor's body part. Go to Spike Rosered's stage after. When you get to the section with the ropes, do it normally until you see an area with two spikes on the walls, with an opening. Use the Falcon Armor to fly up there, and then you get the Gaia Armor's foot part. Go to Dark Necrobat stage. There will be a gap just below the boss door. Go down in the gap, and you'll encounter the infamous F-Laser puzzle. The F-Laser being Shining Firefly's weapon. Do the puzzle to destroy the wall. The destroyable part of it is on the opposite side of the light capsule. Then you get the Gaia Armor's head part. Finally, go to Burn Down Rex's stage. You can get it in two ways, and both ways involve different paths. In the section with the fork in the road, you can either go to the upper path, which will have you fight a mini-boss. After fighting it, don't go to the boss's door. Just use the Falcon Armor to fly straight towards the light capsule. The other method is entering the right armor and going to the lower path with the lava. You did encounter another fork in the road. After some platforming, you will see the light capsule.
Okay, I like this guy. This is cool because he's actually telling you how to get the armor. So, yeah, this dude's a good one. I like this guy. Pretty good.
And another right armor on a ledge. Dash jump towards the ledge, and then exit the right armor, entering the other one in the process. Either way, you then get the Gaia Armor's arm part. You have the Gaia Armor now in the intended method. If you played through all the stages and defeated the 8 Mavericks, you played through all 8 of the Maverick stages and revisited Tidal Whale stage. If you played through the stages, but only defeated the bosses you needed to, you defeated Crescent Grizzly, Tidal Whale, and revisiting the stage, and Shining Firefly to end it off. Either way with the intended method, you get it pretty late into the game, and you may as well just complete the stages you visit on the first go. Moving on to the faster method, it will have you start by going to Shining Fireflies and Spiral Pegasus stages. Defeat them as well. Their weapons will be needed for the faster method. We know why the F-Laser is important, but what about Spiral Pegasus' weapon, the Wind Spiral? It's because of something called the Wind Spiral pause trick. This pause trick is using the Wind Spiral at the apex of your jump, using the Wind Spiral, and pausing after its initial rise. Go to the X-Buster or any other weapon, and pause immediately after. Then go back to the Wind Spiral, and use the Wind Spiral to get another rise in height. If you do it right, and you repeat it over and over, you will get a slow, but noticeable increase in height. Way higher than what a normal jump is capable of. Now that we have that in mind, let's start getting the Gaia Armor by going to Dark Necrobat stage to get it out of the way. Do the puzzle the same way you did in the intended method. You get the Gaia Armor's head part. Go to Spiral Pegasus stage. When you go to the open area, take the elevator and ride it until you are above the nearby spiked platform. Dash jump off the elevator and do the Wind Spiral pause trick until you get to the ledge with the light capsule. You then get the Gaia Armor's body part. Go to Burnt Down Rex's stage. In the first fork in the road mentioned earlier, take the right armor and do the method with the lower path. Do the same things you did in the intended method. you get the Gaia Armor's arm part. Finally, go to Spike Rosered's stage. Go to the same section I mentioned earlier, jump off the rope, and do the wing spiral pause trick. Here's how I do it. Turn on auto fire, and go to the right wall with the spikes, but have your hitbox in a way where you just barely don't touch them. Use wing spiral, switch to the X Buster, hold down the button for the special weapons while in the pause menu, and then switch to wing spiral. If you did it right, you should be sent up at a fast rate, without having to weapon swap or pause. This is because the spikes interrupt wing spiral's animation, leading to the fast rise. When the animation stops being interrupted though, you have to do it normally. Dash jump after to get to the light capsule. You get the Gaia Armor's foot part. You now have the Gaia Armor. If you played through all the stages and defeated all the bosses you visited, you defeated Shining Firefly, Spiral Pegasus, and revisited his stage, Spike Rosered, Dark Necrobat, and Burn Dino Rex. If you didn't defeat the bosses, you didn't need to defeat to get the Gaia Armor. You only defeated Shining Firefly and Spiral Pegasus, with a revisit as well. Okay, with all of that out of the way, what is the Gaia Armor actually capable of? The Gaia Armor has a normal attack with two different variations, an uncharged shot and a charged shot. You get the charged shot as soon as you start charging, so it's very spammable. Both shots can also erase projectiles from enemies and bosses. The only other attack the Gaia Armor has is the Giga Attack. It lasts for a couple seconds, doing heavy damage to any enemy or boss that it hits. It can only be used when the amount of energy for the Giga Attack is full. You are invincible while doing this, even to things like the lava and Burn Dino Rex's stage, and you will be stalled in the air if you use it while jumping. All of your attacks have short range, so you need to get closer to your enemies than other armors would need you to. The Gaia Armor is the only armor that's able to break blocks with a V on them. You can also push them with your dash. This is useful for secrets and items that no other armor can get. The Gaia Armor is one of two armors immune to spikes. You can stand on them and wall jump off of them. You can still get crushed by spikes though. The Gaia Armor is also one of two armors that will stick to walls, unlike the other armors which will slide down walls. You take half the damage that base X would, but that goes for every armor in the X series. And finally, when you take damage, assuming you have used the Giga Attack, the amount of energy of the Giga Attack will increase until it's full. The amount of energy will not be increased if you don't use the Giga Attack. The Gaia Armor has several bad things about it you will notice immediately. The Gaia Armor has a slower walking and dashing speed than the other armors, including base X. The Gaia Armor is the only armor in Mega Man X5 besides base X to not have an air dash, or flight like the Falcon Armor has. And the Gaia Armor is the only armor that cannot use special weapons. The Gaia Armor is the only armor that cannot equip any parts, which means you can't fix the movement issue with the speedster and jumper parts. A lot of people say that the lower speed is one of the main reasons why the Gaia Armor sucks. Let's compare the speeds between the Gaia Armor and base X. I'll be doing two separate tests for running and dashing. I used to start a Spike Rosered stage to test this, and I started the timer at the start of the run and dash cycles. Please know that I may have gotten something wrong, so take this with a grain of salt. For both base X and the Gaia Armor, the running speed is the exact same, meaning that if there is a decrease in running speed, it doesn't matter too much. However, the Gaia Armor has a slower dash. While this is small, this adds up with all the time you spend using the Gaia Armor in X5, which will make you spend more time in the game. This also includes the dash jump, which can make certain parts of stages a little harder to go through, as you actually get less distance with it. Okay, with the armor and what it's about said and done, how does it do in the stages of Mega Man X5? Since the Gaia Armor cannot access the intro stage, I'll be starting with Crescent Grizzly's stage. I will also be mentioning any items that only the Gaia Armor can get. Also, I will skip over mini bosses in the stages until we get over to that section. Overall, the Gaia Armor does well in Crescent Grizzly stage. You are immune to the spikes in the stage, but it isn't that much different from any other armor. You're meant to get the heart tank with the Gaia Armor, but the Falcon Armor's flight can get it. In Tidal Whale stage, the Gaia Armor does as well as any armor does. Like in Crescent Grizzly, you're meant to get the heart tank with the Gaia Armor, but you can get it with the Falcon Armor. In Volt Kraken stage, the Gaia Armor does pretty good. The Ride Chaser section stays the same, and the puzzles become easier. As you're immune to the spikes, that would normally make some puzzles difficult. You can get the heart tank with the Gaia Armor, as you can break the V blocks that would block your way with any other armor. For Shining Firefly, it's more...
Okay, and now we're on to the head, which is what I want to end it with, so... backpack. Boom. Leg. A leg. Arm. Arm. Waist. Waist. And now to finish up the head. That's all I got left. F-E. So E1 and F1. Okay. So I just need E2's cleaned out. E1, F1, that's all I need. Guess I don't need this. You know what this is for. So I'm done with B3. I don't need these. I do look, I got extra parts still. Yep, you know, that's all it is. Okay, let's get started. E1. E1, 8 and 32.
More or less the same, but you're immune to spikes that aren't the falling traps, so platforming becomes easier. Like with Crescent Grizzly, in Tidal Whale, you're meant to get the hard tank with the Gaia armor, but the Falcon armor can just get it. For Spiral Pegasus, it's the same as doing it normally. You still get insta-killed if you get crushed by the spikes on the elevator section, so that doesn't change. Spike Rose Red is the same as normal. You can skip the starting section by breaking the V blocks, so you take a different route. To get the hard tank, you have to do a puzzle with moving and breaking the V blocks. Now for Dark Necrobat, it's surprisingly good. You don't have to worry about the spikes that can appear in the earlier sections of the stage, because you won't die from them, even if they hit you from above. The spike immunity does help in the rest of the stage, but it's nowhere near as impactful there. For the final Maverick stage, Burn Denorex doesn't change too much. While the speed does affect your timing, with the insta-killing lava in the early sections of the stage, it's still incredibly forgiving, and you won't need to mash to stay on the walls used to dodge the lava. The rest of the stage is the same as doing it with any other armor. While you're intended to get many of the hard tanks with the Gaia armor, you only need to get the hard tanks in Volt Kraken and Spike Rose Red stage with it. Now for the endgame stages, this is where you're intended to use the Gaia armor. So what kind of first impression does Zero Stage 1 give the Gaia armor? Let me explain. First, the Gaia armor is the only armor without special weapons, so you can use the skip the challenge weapon, the Darkhold, like you can with the others. Second, no air dash makes some sections more difficult. Not by much, but you'll notice it. Lastly, the Gaia armor's slower speed actually matters here, as you have to go through the stage incredibly well, or you'll die to the lasers. It's not impossible, not at all, but it has a harder time in the stage than the other armors do. Zero Stage 2 is way better. The entire stage seems to be made with the Gaia armor in mind. You can easily climb the spike walls you can see, and just walk over gaps of spikes that every armor, or Zero, has to avoid. Zero Stage 3 is still pretty easy. You can very easily ignore the spikes that would make you have to time your jumps with the broken platforms. This one section can be annoying to get through, but it still shouldn't be too bad. The final stage, being Zero Stage 4, is a boss rush, so platforming isn't as important there. The first section of platforming is completely cheesed by the Gaia armor being immune to spikes, while the other one is more difficult, as the reduced speed matters here, especially with the disappearing blocks. At the final jump, you need to cling onto the sides of the disappearing block, then jump off the sides to get to the boss door. With this stage is done, what about the enemies and bosses in the game? Against enemies, the Gaia armor generally does very well against them. The only exceptions are the Raidens and the Spark Gunners, as they take several charge shots to kill and can block your shots.
Hold on, let me go look for the... Let me go down look for the piece that I dropped. Ah, crap. Okay. it should be easy because it's super dark. Let's see. I think I just heard it. I think I just dropped it. Crap, I don't get to get done unless I have that piece. Crap. Alright. Let's look. That's not it. We'll do that later. Oh man. Oh wow. Oh jeez. Alright. I found it. It dropped in the worst place, but I found it. Alright. Alright, we're good. We are good. Dropped in the worst place. You fit it. That's all I need. Something else to draw. Okay, we're good. Alright. Okay, let's finish this up.
For mini bosses, the Gaia armor does pretty good against them. You can very easily and quickly take them out, due to how spammable the Gaia armor's charge shots are. This varies a lot though, as the Gaia armor does have shorter range, and it does terrible against the mini boss in Burn Down RX's stage. Now for bosses, the Gaia armor can take them out so quickly, the ultimate armor is the only armor that can match it in terms of damage, and the Gaia armor can even surpass it in some cases. This is because the Gaia armor's charge shots have almost no cooldown, making them tear through the boss's health bars. The Gaia armor does have some important special interactions I need to get into. I'll be starting with the interactions against bosses generally, then interactions against specific ones. Starting off with the general interactions, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the Gaia armor's charge shot is able to erase certain projectiles bosses can use. These include Crescent Grizzlies, Crescent Shot, Burn Down RX's Ground Fire and Fireballs, Volt Kraken's Tri-Thunders, including the ones he uses at low health, and finally, Zero Sea Buster, Shin Masenko, and Awaken Zero Shin Getsurin. The first special interaction that Gaia armor has is not being insta-killed by the spikes in Tidal Whale's fight. They still do a lot of damage though when you get crushed by the ice blocks. Against the Shadow Devil, you can just hang on the top corners and dodge most of its attacks. Rank the Bang does by far hit the hardest by the Gaia armor, as you can take its eyes out really fast. It makes its Soul Boka attack, which is usually very annoying, absolutely nothing. In Sigma's fight, the Sigma viruses he summons can be taken out in 1 to 2 charge shots, and when in the second phase, he uses the Tracker Bullet attack. Being able to stick to the wall helps get a lot of damage in. In terms of bad interactions, while the Gaia armor speed can be a disadvantage, if you're already good at dodging attacks, you won't need to worry that much. There is an interaction that is important though. The Gaia armor is pretty risky to use against Spiral Pegasus, as if he knocks you off the arena's platform, there is nothing you can do to save yourself. Overall, the Gaia armor is the best armor against bosses, with only the ultimate armor as competition. To answer the question I said in the beginning of the video, is the Gaia armor really that bad? No, not at all. However, with how late you can realistically get this armor, either being right before the 0 stages, or about 5 Mavericks in, you won't get as much time to use it as the 4th armor, or even the Falcon armor if you went for it before the Gaia armor. I personally think that's why it gets the reputation it does. Even though the Gaia armor does have its unfixable movement issues, and they are absolutely there, the amount of damage you can do makes up for that. Before ending the video, I do want to say that not everyone in the world thinks this armor is the worst, and the people who say the Gaia armor is the worst don't make them bad or good at playing the X games. It's just an opinion. For me, the worst armor is the first armor, but that's due to base X and every other armor having the dash by default starting from Mega Man X2. It's really good in X1, so I'm just saying that when comparing it to the other armors. Thanks for watching this video. I'm trying a new video format for this channel. I don't plan on making this format a series on this channel. I already have the boss rankings and model videos, but if you want to see this format for another armor in the series, or maybe even for the Classic or Zero series, let me know in the comments. Anyways, the next video of mine will be the Model P video, and that video is going to be real.
Okay, that was cool. I like that one. That was a good breakdown. I still hate the I still hate the first armor. I mean, I still hate the Gaia armor though. I used it, and as powerful as it is, the mobility is terrible. So, but he's right. If you like it, there's no problem with that. You play X the way you want to play it. But me, I am not a fan of Gaia armor. Never have been, never will be. Well, I love the way it looks. I just hate that. Just the way I play my playstyle is a pain in the butt to use. E17, E16. E17, E16. E16. And E118. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and put this together real quick. Oh yeah, so come on. I want to check out another video, but I think I think I fixed the audio issues. I will check it later, but I think they're all done. I think they're all fixed. Gundam Ball Z. See, I told you. Okay, I'll check this out. Let's see.
With Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, you can instantly know what you spend on things like food.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries this month?
Hey, Dad, can the guy stay for dinner?
No.
Want faster, easier banking? You can with Wells Fargo.
With the addition of Game Boy Advance games for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers, everyone is suddenly filled with nostalgia for one of the best handheld consoles of all time. With that in mind, there's obviously no shortage of selections for the best GBA games ever released. From a half dozen Mario titles to new Metroid and Pokemon hits to RPGs and dozens of original platformers, the Game Boy Advance remains a jewel in Nintendo's crown. So many of these Game Boy Advance titles remain a blast to pick up and play even today. Whether you're digging your GBA or SP out of the closet, or you're finally getting into emulation, don't say that word in front of Nintendo, we've got a slew of the best Game Boy Advance games ever to keep you busy. Just remember that this list is limited to games that were officially released outside of Japan, so unfortunately you won't find stuff like Mother Free here. So grab your screwdriver to check for fakes and bask in the backlit glory of... What do you mean it took them until the release of the SP to finally add some light to these things? Are Nintendo a bunch of mole people? Is Shigeru Miyamoto a mole person?
Yeah, fun fact. My fault. Fun fact, I never owned the Game Boy Advance. My first Game Boy Advance was actually the Game Boy SP. So yeah.
Number 20, Astro Boy Omega Factor. Astro Boy Omega Factor reminds us that there were plenty of excellent GBA titles that flew relatively under the radar. The legendary character created by manga giant Osamu Tezuka in 1952 wasn't as big as Mario or Link by 2003, the year Omega Factor came to Game Boy Advance, but this game proves the character could still be viable to modern audiences. Without losing sight of creating a manga-style world that captures these characters and universe perfectly, Astro Boy Omega Factor is mostly a platforming beat-em-up, but there are a few decidedly entertaining shoot-em-up levels thrown in.
I never played this one, so no comment.
For good measure. There's nothing groundbreaking here, but the presentation is perfect and just absolutely gorgeous, and everything else that matters is well represented and well executed. Astro Boy Omega Factor is an appealing title whose charms can catch you by surprise, especially when you can turn your arm into a laser cannon. Not enough of that in these modern games for me. Just not enough of it. Number 19, Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge. Banjo-Kazooie? More like Banjo-Kaz-Hooey? Haha, yes, it has been a while. It has been a while. Set between two of the best N64 games ever made, Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge is a relatively impressive achievement for the Game Boy Advance. No one expected a game on par with the duo's N64 hits, but Rare nonetheless went the distance to create a title that's one of the most enjoyable platformers for the handheld. Grunty's Revenge features villain Gruntilda setting out to erase the events of the first game by kidnapping Kazooie, and just generally being a huge pain in the arse like any good platformer villain should be. The only sin for this game, which boasted beautiful GBA graphics, plenty of personality and excellent mechanics, is that it's just a little too short. Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge doesn't really require any knowledge of the previous titles though, you just pick up the game and have fun. Then you go and play nuts and bolts and just be very confused. Number 18, Final Fantasy VI Advance. Square always love to bring back their classic Final Fantasy titles for various consoles. Since games like Final Fantasy VI, released as free in the West in 1994, are among the best JRPGs ever made, no one really has a problem with that, especially when Final Fantasy VI Advance brought some genuinely exciting additions to the party, including 2 bonus dungeons and additional summons. However, the heart and soul of everything that's great about Final Fantasy VI is what made the GBA edition another success for Square. Players begin the epic story by controlling a young woman named Terra. Her mysterious past and powers are apparent from the beginning, but as we begin to follow her life as a mere tool of the government, her story expands in numerous staggering ways. This is an excellent JRPG that will still take quite a long time to explore fully. Plus, is it...
I never played it for the Game Boy Advance, but I did play it for the Super Nintendo. Yes, it's one of the greatest Final Fantasy. Actually, I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it right now. This is actually, in my personal opinion, and it depends on when you talk to me, but I would say 6 and 7 are my top Final Fantasy games of all time. Sometimes I'll say 6 is the best one, sometimes I'll say 7 is the best one, but 6 is a great Final Fantasy game.
Really a Nintendo handheld if it doesn't have a banger Final Fantasy port. Number 17, Sonic Advance. There was still a surreal novelty in seeing Sonic the Hedgehog on a Nintendo system in 2001 in the form of Sonic Advance. The Dreamcast, rest in piece, had only been discontinued less than a year earlier, but Sonic's early adventures for other systems started off strong enough with the release of Sonic Advance. Of the 3 games released in the series for Nintendo's flagship handheld, the first one is still the best. The game isn't much more than a simplified version of Sonic games on more powerful consoles, and there's nothing really wrong with that in this case. Sonic Advance gave players the ability to control a variety of characters besides Sonic, maintain the optimal fast-paced platforming mechanics of the best Sonic titles, and
this was actually one of my friends. I never owned it, but I did borrow it, and I didn't get that far in it. It was just a Sonic game to me back then. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a great game. It was just, at least for me. But I didn't play it long enough. And like I said, I only played it because I borrowed it. So. Alright. Oh, I see what they mean by turn it upside down. Yeah, okay. Then this one, I guess, goes in here. Okay. And then I do E1 28 29 30, E1 28 29 30, 27 28 29 30. Okay, let's get back to this.
Visually packed a memorable punch. Sonic Advance proves that sometimes you can win everyone over by simply focusing on what works. Going fast and never paying speeding tickets. Don't let them get you down, kids. Number 16, Wario Land 4. With no other motivating factor beyond animalistic greed, which is why we continue to pump these lists out. That's a joke, they are actually the highlight of our week. Wario Land 4 sets you off to explore a variety of lands to uncover a treasure hidden inside a pyramid. Like past Wario Land games, this 4th entry has its own unique sense of humour. This is particularly true in the character design.
So I never played this one either. I never played this one either. The only Wario game I actually played was for the Virtual Boy. Shout out to my mom. I heard some people got sick off of playing the Virtual Boy. I never had that problem, so I don't know.
Wario Land 4 is a straightforward platformer that should prove engaging for those who seek it out. Where the game differs from others is in what happens when Wario engages certain enemies on the screen. Unlike most platformers, you won't necessarily take damage for coming into contact with something. Some creatures in the game will actually transform Wario into a different form altogether, adding a nice element of unique challenge to the already stellar Wario Land 4, but no matter what form he takes, Wario will always be baby. Number 15, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Porting a game as vast and complex as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 to the much simpler Game Boy Advance.
Wow, yeah, I would have never thought this would be on this list. Sorry, I am not a fan. Well, I'm going to say I'm not a fan. I never played it, but I wasn't even interested because I didn't think it would translate well. But maybe it did. I don't know. If it did, shut out. But I never gave it a chance.
Surprisingly worked out well for everyone concerned. Obviously the game didn't feature everything found in the PS1 original, including multiplayer and the ability to edit your own levels, but there's far more here than you might suspect. From graphics to gameplay and even the inclusion of as much music as the developers could fit into that tiny little cartridge, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was lauded then and now for feeling quite like a mainline Tony Hawk title. The simplified controls also meant just about anyone could pick up the game and have a great time. And you could even still upgrade your wares over the course of the game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 proved the GBA could actually do quite a lot, even if we were deprived of hideously compressed versions of Goldfinger songs. Number 14, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Kirby games often stand among the best for any given Nintendo console, so it makes sense that Kirby and the Amazing Mirror shows up here for the best Game Boy Advance games. Broken up into several Kirbys by the dark version of Meta Knight, the game creates a truly unique and memorable playing experience. It becomes your challenge to navigate the usual Kirby challenges and puzzles under these unique conditions. You're going to have the usual Kirby powers as well as a special communications device, so the game isn't too far removed from what you love about this amazing little series. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror can feel just a little bit like a Metroidvania game sometimes, for being a relatively sandbox-esque experience set in a complex, fascinating maze that's filled with treasures and surprises, but not many vampires, and that's a shame. The Amazing Mirror is a singular Kirby release in so many ways, in however way you play it. Also, any mirror is amazing, as long as it's got you in it, viewers. Please subscribe. Please. Number 13, Fire Emblem. With 17 games in the main series alone, Fire Emblem...
This is the game that started it all with Fire Emblem for me. This was the one. This is by far one of my favorite, and again, one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters of all time. Well, only it's my favorite because I started with her, and that is Lyn. So yeah. What's going on? What the heck is going on? I'm confused. It's tough. What is going on? Okay, why is it so hard to put on? I don't even get how this one goes on. Okay, either way, let's go.
Emblem didn't actually start finding an audience outside of Japan until this 2003 release for the Game Boy Advance. You might say, but what about Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube? Isn't that
what
really
up,
the series'
Good to see you again, man.
Well, we say if more people played it, it wouldn't be selling for $200.
No way.
This tactical RPG, which was finally given its proper name, Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade in the West in 2017, isn't lacking in epic struggles, high family drama, and a deceptively simple combat system that gives way to something absorbing and complex. Fire Emblem offers a wealth of characters, combined with deep gameplay. You have to become adept at managing your heroes to a degree that emphasizes the tactical side of things in no uncertain terms. It's up to you to set forth the plans that will make you a hero or see all of your ambitious dreams of glory go up in smoke.
Alright, let me go back and shit yourself. Yeah, already did that. I think I did that today. Personally, I think I'm not too big of a Kirby fan. Yeah, I've never really been a big Kirby fan myself either. And yeah, okay. Mike is back. Alright, we're good. Cool. I'm all caught up. But I'm glad to see you back. Like I said, I got everything working, so we're good now.
There is also the Sacred Stones in the franchise for the GBA, but the first Fire Emblem release for the system in the West is the one we still like the best. Number 12, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. By the way, I'm saying Advance so much in this script.
Okay, you see, this is one of those games that I played and pretty much everybody loved this game. Everybody would praise this game. Everybody said this game was great. I was like I'm probably the only guy who just never really liked this game. I know plenty of people who love this game. I'm probably the only guy that everybody knew who just didn't really like this game. The heck? How does this work? I feel like I need to look this up. You gotta go to school at this time of night? Or is it that you gotta go to school tomorrow and you're preparing for tonight? Cause I'm about to say, if you're going to school now, man, I don't know what school you're at. Cause that's crazy. The only school I know where you had to go at night. Well, no, I guess that's not. I guess it depends on classes. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, it's about 10:40 over here. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Well, I don't know how long you're gonna be able to stick and watch. I don't know how long you're going to be able to stick around and watch the stream, but I do want to say, man, good luck with school, and thanks for coming on. But, yeah, that is crazy. Okay. Wow. All right, cool. Now, I'll play this, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. Cool, 10 minutes. All right, yeah. All right, that works. So, all right, cool. Well, yeah, I'll keep playing this. For about another 10 minutes. Let's go ahead.
I'm starting to feel like Erwin in Attack on Titan. Final Fantasy Tactics was a bold concept from Square to combine the most beloved elements of their iconic JRPG series with tactical strategy elements. The game was its own unique success on the PlayStation 1, and this 2003 release acts as a sort of spiritual sequel. There's quite a bit here to distinguish the game from the PS1 classic, but the same concept of commanding and managing massive armies against a sprawling story of political intrigue and magic remains. For Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, you're not just running a huge army against other huge armies. The job system and lore system are just two ways in which Final Fantasy Tactics Advance immerses you in a world unlike any other. The dedication to strong characters and a memorable, elaborate storyline that marks the best Final Fantasy games can also be appreciated here. Number 11, Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. It would be
I don't know too much about Harvest Moon. I'm not sure if you ever played it, but I've only played Harvest Moon for like a second, and it wasn't really my game, but maybe it deserves to be on this list. I don't know.
A mistake to dismiss Harvest Moon as another farming sim. While it's true that the game is pretty much exactly that, with a very basic story of a young character, that's you, given the opportunity to build and grow a farm, there's something deeper and more satisfying to the Harvest Moon series in particular. Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town has an appealing visual tone and pacing, with a laid-back style of gameplay that can keep you occupied for dozens of hours, more if you're the hardcore completionist type. The art style alone will draw you in, even if you're not someone who plays these types of games very often. Friends of...
Good question. Not sure. Yeah, I know. That's a good question. Don't know. I'm not sure if you want to do that. Because I have a feeling if you harvest the sun, you probably won't survive that harvest. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Mineral Town makes it easy to get started and leaves quite a bit up to your own speed and interests. Just sit back and try not to worry about the slow, inevitable heat death of the universe. Ah, look, there's some milk. We like milk. Milk is good. Number 10, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games. It shouldn't really surprise you that WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games...
Yeah, I got this for the Wii back in the day. I actually enjoyed the game for the Wii, but never got it for the Advance.
It's firmly in the top 10 best Game Boy Advance games, emphasizing a pick up and play approach. Unlike anything else we could discuss, WarioWare Inc. offers dozens and dozens of very short minigames that can be played and devoured in a matter of seconds. It's a weird test of not only quick thinking, but endurance, as you can keep burning through these different tiny games as much as you want. And that's the thing with WarioWare, just about every little game in this title is a blast to play. There's a mildly addictive element running beneath this that keeps you transfixed on the frantic madness and silliness unfolding in front of you. Don't be surprised if you look up after playing for a little while to discover several hours have passed and your eyes have gone all weird like the Riddler's victims in Batman Forever. Number 9, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. In 2003, Castlevania as a
I heard so many good things about this game. I never played it, but I know plenty of people who are Castlevania fans and they love that game.
Video game franchise, remember that, huh? Wow. We're still firing on all cylinders. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow is ample evidence of that, with the action RPG platformer being just one of 3 terrific Castlevania games that were released during the lifespan of the Game Boy Advance. Everything you could possibly want from a Castlevania release in which you control Soma Cruz in his bid to be the one who finally destroys Dracula, gosh could you imagine, can be found here. Aria of Sorrow is presented in pretty splendid form as well. The graphics and sound are impressively evocative of the best of this series, with ample challenge and a mechanically...
You never played a Castlevania? Oh man. Those things are hard. I mean, depending on which one. Those things are hard. I would say, if you're ever going to play a Castlevania game, from my understanding, this would probably be a good one to start with, but which one's the one with Alucard? Which one's the one with Alucard? I'm going to look that up real quick. Where is... Castlevania with Alucard. PS1. Symphony of the Night. That's what it's called. Yeah, I heard this is a good one to start with, but Symphony of the Night is a really good one too. You gotta try those. If you never played Castlevania games, I'm not the biggest Castlevania fan, but I definitely enjoyed Symphony of the Night. I never beat it. It's hard and it's long and it's confusing, but they're actually pretty good games.
Brilliant experience with the tactical Soul system. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow is a high mark for the series on handheld game systems, and it's one of the best in the Game Boy Advance's library. Thanks for the memories, Konami, but it's about dang time we got a new game, eh? Number 8, Golden Sun, The Lost Age.
That's what I was thinking about. Golden Sun. That game is amazing. Now, that's one game I do recommend. You need to play Golden Sun. If you never played Golden Sun, try it. It is such a good game. I never played the second one, but the first one's really good.
2 at absolutely fantastic RPG experiences awaiting you with the Golden Sun series, we're giving a slight nod to the 2002 sequel, Golden Sun: The Light Age, which picks up right after where the previous installment left off. It features some more refined, challenging puzzles for you to solve as you assume the role of the antagonist from the last game. The essentials of a good RPG are represented quite well with Golden Sun: The Lost Age. The controls are pretty good, as is the opportunity to have the game impacted to a certain degree by the choices your character makes in the narrative. Combat for the game is also pretty dang satisfying, which makes it an easy sell for those who don't play a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, see, I never played this one. I played the first one. The first one was really good.
It's been a pretty long time since the sun shone on this game series. Let's get another one. I mean, if we can get another 1-2 Switch game. You know, yeah. Number 7, Super Mario Kart Super Circuit. Fun fact, you are not legally allowed to own a Game Boy Advance if you don't own a copy of this game. Everybody had it, everybody. The graphics may look a tiny bit dated in Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, especially compared to Double Dash on the GameCube, but when the gameplay is this good with a ton of challenging, memorable tracks to race on, graphic quality should be a little less important. Super Circuit remains one of the most instantly playable titles in the GBA's library, as players of all experiences can pick up Super Circuit and find themselves hooked within minutes. Super Mario Kart Super Circuit delivers 20 distinct tracks, with some being regarded nowadays as being among the best Mario Kart tracks of all time. The varying difficulty levels speak to that deeper playing experience, and you of course can't forget that the multiplayer still whips some serious ass in this game, even after more than 20 years. Number 6, Advance Wars. Advance Wars proved to be a mildly surprising smash hit for Nintendo's Game Boy Advance. With connections to a series that began years earlier on the Famicom, Advance Wars effectively introduced turn-based tactical strategy to a litany of young GBA players. Utilising submarines, tanks, helicopters, soldiers and other vehicles and weapons, Advance Wars offers a riveting management and strategy effort against a viciously clever opponent. Managing financial resources, which included knowing when and where to make crucial repairs to your army, is just one piece of a challenging, consistently evolving puzzle. Being able to take advantage of a very enjoyable multiplayer offering makes Advance Wars even better. If you decide you love this game, you'll be happy to know that Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising keeps a good thing going. Number 5, Pokemon Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire. This
had to be on the list. Teeth brushes. Oh my god, that's funny. Hey, funny. What'd you call it? What's it called? Wario Land. Wario Land has a game where you can brush your teeth. I'm telling you, it does. So there you go. Like I said, you ask, I shall inform. Actually, you know what's funny? Oh crap.
Entry for the best GBA games is technically 3 games, but get Emerald if you want a game that combines the other 2 pretty nicely, but they all tell the same exhilarating Pokemon story. While you could no longer bring along everything you had caught previously in earlier games, Ruby and Sapphire use that space to do impressively different things with the series. Incorporating new features like duo battles while offering new ways to enhance and evolve your Pokemon, Ruby and Sapphire proved at this point that the series could still innovate within the expectations of its audience. The compulsory strategy and exploration inherent in these games was recaptured perfectly for the Game Boy Advance, and stands as the best in a series of very good GBA Pokemon releases. But make sure you get your wallet and screwdriver ready to buy box versions of these games these days though, I mean... Number 4, Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance free. The Game Boy Advance proved with games like Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance free that it could largely recreate the SNES experience in its own way. The bright, extremely colourful graphics that made Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island a unique hit for the Super Nintendo in 1995 are largely intact here. The gameplay for Super Mario Advance 3 also remains pretty much unchanged, with the task still being to play as a variety of Yoshis in their quest to protect baby Mario and reunite him with baby Luigi. Oh. The controls of the GBA are perfectly suited to this game, with Yoshi's egg throwing ability being one of the things about Yoshi's Island that makes it just so much fun.
Alright, Crocky. Thanks for coming on, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. Good luck at school, man.
Super Mario Advance series was another success for the Game Boy Advance, and Yoshi's Island is the best of them all. Number 3, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga offers a different sort of Mario experience, with the game being another fine example of Mario and Luigi shining in a wide range of genres. Superstar Saga combines a good sense of humour with beautiful designs and clever animations. All of this is wrapped in turn-based gameplay with enough tweaks to keep it from getting too monotonous. You'll want to keep playing simply because the dialogue is at times hilarious, particularly between Mario and Luigi. The combos and special attacks the brothers pull off is another attraction to Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga that makes it one of the best GBA games of all time. It would also rank pretty high on any given list of Mario games that are still quite simply just timeless. We wouldn't really say no to more of these now that Nintendo are firing up the Mario content mines following the success of the movie. Would you? Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Capcom and Nintendo collaborating on The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap might sound like a fever dream now, but it really happened. Multiple times actually, with the 2 Oracle games topping our previous countdown for the Game Boy Color. Hey, go watch that video, it's pretty good. Nintendo trusted Capcom with creating an entertaining new Zelda game that would go its own...
I played that one. That was actually, no, I take it back. I heard that one's good. And one I played was Seasons. So, actually, I think I have both of them. I just never played them or finished them. But I think I got both. Knowing me, I know I got both. All right, this is oh, are we finally done? Oh. Okay, I think I got everything. Okay. I think, finally, everything's done. What am I doing? I'm so messed up. I didn't even know what I was doing. Either way.
But not lose sight of what people love best about this series. Capcom and Flagship met that challenge in spectacular fashion with a game that borrowed from its predecessors, but also found new ways to challenge even the most dedicated of Zelda fans. The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap comes with the ability to shrink our iconic hero Link to a size that suddenly turns a few steps in a sprawling world into a universe unto itself. The journey of the Minish Cap constantly keeps you on your toes with a satisfying conclusion to a perfect handheld Zelda game. But for our list, it has to play second fiddle to a certain bounty hunter. No, not Boba Fett. No, not Dog the either. It's Samus in number 1, Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion sees Samus exploring a vast, frightening space station known as BSL. All the components of solving puzzles, blasting enemies, and trying to survive in a hostile labyrinth are here, but Nintendo made it a point to throw some new ideas and dangers into the proceedings. Metroid Fusion isn't just the normal battle for survival for Samus. She's also got a parasite to contend with that soon forces her to become the very thing she hunts and despises. And no, it's not who developed Metroid, Other M. The story beats alone for the game are some of the best on the Game Boy Advance, but you also get the most difficult and thrilling gameplay demands from Metroid itself and the genre overall. Metroid Fusion is still an electrifying challenge, and it was a worthy successor to Super Metroid in every way. There's something about it that will just remain pretty much forever timeless, as is the case with a lot of the games on what might just be our favourite Nintendo handheld of all time. And that was our little listy poo for the best Game Boy Advance games on the Game Boy Advance. Yes. What did you think of our list? Is there anything that was too high, too low, anything that we missed? Be sure to let us know down in the comments below. We'll see you next week for the best DS games, and thank you for watching.
I'm just gonna let all y'all know that I will be making that list for the YouTube channel sooner than later. Well, later than soon, I should say. But I will be doing one of those at a later date for each system. So, that's what we'll do. But anyways. Alright. Now it's time to put it all together. We finally have finished it up. Now we can put it all together. So let's go ahead and get this live build finally completed. Let's start off with the legs. Oh, this is horrible. Okay, there we go. Ugh, man, I don't know if I like how this feels. Oh, that might help. It probably wasn't on there. No. Oh, no. The heck? Okay. This is weird. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. That's weird. I'm not sure if I like that. Alright, we got that. We got the arms. We're gonna go with the waist, the backpack, and then I'm going to form the head. Whoa, I don't like this head. Why is it so high? Why is that so high? Supposed to be that high? Why is it up so high? Oh, okay, I don't like that. Oh, jeez. Okay, that sucked. Let's try this again. Let's go ahead and finish this up. Okay. What is it? Oh, this is great. Like he's falling apart. Ugh, that sucks. Nope. No, there's not like clip or anything. Like, there we go. And then alright, then we should be done. Alright, yep. Let me put this in here. Oh my god. Oh, that sucks. It's such a big fin. Why does the fin suck on this thing? That sucks. This has one of the biggest fins and it sucks. Alright. Jeez, why is everything feeling like you're kind of loose? Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Finally got it working. Just so y'all can see it. Oh yeah, let me turn it around. There it is. We finished it up. I love the way it looked, but I'm definitely gonna give it a rating. Oops, let me move this out the way. Definitely gonna give it a rating by next year when it comes to my top 10 kits I built. Alright, that's it. And yeah. Alright. So there we go. We got the audio fix. Let's do. Dang. All right. Dang. I got some bad news. Load ass stray. Out of all the kits I built since I started building kits, and again, that list will be coming out sometime next year. As of right now, the Lodash Stray might be the worst kit I've built so far. And it's really because I don't like the way the legs feel. I don't feel like they're on there tight. It may be because that's a feeling, but the legs not feel on there really, really good. The fin should be like there should be like some pegs to keep the fin on there, because there's no reason with the fin this big why it should be popping off like it is. Because I mean, this fin is too big to be popping off. I hate how long the neck is. I wish it was a little bit shorter. I hate how long. I hate how high the head rises. I think the neck should be shorter. Like, if it was just a little bit shorter, the neck's a little too long. And yeah, it's just this one peg doesn't do it. This thing needs about 2 pegs. As of right now, the Lodash Stray is probably the worst kit I built so far. It looks amazing. I love the way it looks. I love the color scheme. But it's looking like the Lodash Stray might be in the worst kits I've built so far, which sucks. I had hopes for the Lodash Stray, and it kind of let me down. It's letting me down right now. Arms feel good, but I don't like how the legs feel. And that sucks. But either way, you know what? I don't feel like closing this out yet. I may go ahead and turn on the game before I head out. Normally with the live build, I would do a live build and I'll be done. But I think I'm gonna game a little bit, just to expand it, just to extend this live stream a little bit, and then probably be done. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play probably. I'll play like 1 or 2 duels. What time is it? Yeah, because I gotta get ready myself too. I gotta mean to get to tomorrow. But I'll play 1 or 2 games. I feel like playing, and then I gotta go ahead and do this. So. The Lodash Stray. I love you, but you're disappointing. Alright, put you at the bottom. Alright, it's fine. I'm gonna grab it anyway so you can fall over. Oh, jeez. Alright, so peace out with this. I'll probably do 1 quick little game, and then after that, 1 duel and master duels, and then after that, I'll probably turn off the live stream. So let's go ahead. Or if I get disconnected, my bad, I'll reconnect myself, but I gotta transform everything real quick. Test, test, test. Okay. I think I'm back now. Yep, I'm back. Okay, there we go. Ha. My bad to fix my mic, but I'm back. So I'm gonna play this for a minute and then I'm gonna head out. Alright, cool. What's in the deck? Who are you? I'm already not liking this deck. Yeah, whack. I don't like it. Oh, penguin. What do we have? Come on, give me a good one that I can sell. Why does it do that? No cards I want. Man, give me the cards I want. Stop giving me cards I don't want to play. Give me cards that I can. Let's go. Still playing? Oh yeah, we're definitely playing. Let's go. Let's go! Alright, cool. Alright, chat. Why don't I already like this? Oh. Supply squad. That's what that's why I didn't like that card. Yeah. I gotta destroy that card right away. That card gots to go. Ah. And he gets to draw a card. Crap. Oh no. Oh no. You it's not a light. That sucks. Yeah, I can take 1200. I ain't gonna. Oh, I only got enough. I only got enough fight cards in the grave. Yeah. Yeah. was looking for. Heck yeah. Oh, you knew what's coming. You knew what's coming. Yep, I'm about to blow up your entire field. Oh, it's a burn deck. Crap. Oh no. It's a burn deck. Yeah, this is a burn deck. This is a burn deck. Yeah. So. Not good. Oh yeah, not good. Okay. This is a great win. This is a great win. Oh yeah, you lost. Yeah, it's over. You can't do nothing. Oh yeah, I like this. Oh my, oh, this is so beautiful. Oh yeah, I like this win. This one's a great win. Ooh, let's keep going. Just because I want to see what else. I'll give you that. You can't do nothing right now. It's over. I'm giving you one more shot just to see if you can pull something. But it's over. Sorry man, there's nothing you can do. You lost. There's nothing you can do right now. Cause if you use that card, it's gonna negate it. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Oh, okay, yeah, it's over. Alright, I'll put you out your misery. I don't know, let's see what I can do. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance. I'll give you a thing. Yeah, I'll put you out your misery. That was a fun game. Let's try to see what else I could do. Should I go one more? Yeah, I'll go one more. Oh, this is it. Last one, and then I'm gonna get off of here. Yeah. Wow, that sucks. Uh, Alright, Karma. I'll take it. I deserve it. I deserve it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I deserve it. I'll let it go. I deserve it. Alright. Okay, that's it. I got my karma. I got my karma loss. That's all it was. Alright. Well, I'm done. So thank y'all for checking out the live stream. I definitely appreciate it. That sucked. I wound up losing, but it's cool. I had a good time. Enjoyed being on here. Enjoyed talking to chat. Shout out to Crocky. Appreciate you, man. With that being said, I'm gonna get up off of here. Hope you enjoyed the live build. Gotta work on another short. I haven't worked on a short, so hope I get a short out on time. If not, then because the short shouldn't be coming out this week. It should be next week. So I should have one out by then. If not, then yeah. But anyways, I just want to thank y'all for checking out the live stream. Definitely appreciate it. I need to go take a shower and put my bed back together. So, but I just wanted to play this game real quick. Had a great time. Have fun. Hope y'all enjoyed the live stream, and I will be back probably next week. But alright, y'all have a good one. See ya. Oh, yeah. Always remember. Oh, of course. That's where you can find me. Any of these channels is where you can find me. And I need to get back to uploading on the Unknown Games. I haven't done it in a minute, but I will be doing that. So yeah. But if you're looking where to find me, there you go. Any of these. Oh man. Alright, let's get going. Follow, subscribe. You already